You've been watching homes in Oakville go fast. Maybe you've lost one. Maybe you're sitting on a home you're thinking about listing, and you're not sure if now is the right time. Here's what I can tell you in the first 60 seconds. Oakville is one of the most competitive submarkets in all of St. Louis County right now. Nearly 60% of homes are selling above list price. The fastest ones are going pending in 5 days. But here's the part that most videos won't tell you. The market shifted significantly between March and July of this year. And depending on what you're trying to do, that shift changes your strategy completely. My name is Cheryl Carestone. I'm a realtor with Campbell House and Home, and I work with buyers and sellers across St. Louis City, St. Louis County, St. Charles County, and Jefferson County. And I'm in this market every single week. In this video, I'm going to walk you through exactly where Oakville stands right now, what changed in 2026, what it means if you're buying, what it means if you're selling, and why Oakville holds its value the way it does. Let's go. Let's start with the numbers because the numbers tell the story. As of July 2026, the typical home value in Oakville is around $368,000. That's according to Zillow's market data. The median sale price is sitting at $362,000 and the median list price is around $386,000. Now, here's what the number that I want you to focus on is the sale to list ratio. In Oakville right now, that's 1.013. In other words, it means the average home is selling for slightly more than what it's listed for. That tells you this is not a market where buyers have room to lowball. Ending in about 5 days on the faster end. Redfin's 3-month view through June shows a median of 12 days across all segments. Either way, you're not looking at a market that gives you time to think things over. And about 60% of sales are closing above list price. Only 24% close under. Now, let me give you the context on what that actually means regionally. Oakville's median is running closer to 357,000 to 362,000, depending on your source and time frame. Oakville commands a real sustained premium over the rest of the county, and that premium has held through 2025 and into 2026. The broader St. Louis metro median is about $350,000 as of mid 2026. Oakville is at or above that metro figure. It's a premium submarket, and it has been consistently. Here's where it gets really interesting, and this is the part that matters if you're making a decision this year. Oakville's market changed significantly between early 2026 and the summer of 2026. In March, Realtor.com was actually describing Oakville as a buyer's market. Homes were selling at about 98% of asking price. Median days on market was 26 days. Buyers had a little bit of room to breathe. But by July, the data shows us that some of those sale to list ratio is above 100%, and homes are pending in days, not weeks. So what happened? The market heated up. That's the seasonal pattern you see in competitive suburban markets. The spring listing season compressed inventory even further, and best homes went fast. And by the summer, buyers who had been on the sidelines started competing harder for what was left. And here's what that means practically. The playbook is different depending on what you're watching in this video and what you're trying to do. If you're a buyer who went through Oakville in the winter and felt like you had more breathing room, that window may have closed. If you're a seller who waited for summer to list, that timing may have worked in your favor. That's the shift. The market moved. And the decisions you make right now need to reflect where the market is today, not where it was 6 months ago. I hold a pricing strategy advisor certification from the National Association of Realtors, running market analysis like this, reading the data and reading where the data is trending and translating it into real guidance is exactly what the designation is built for. So when I say the market shifted, I'm not guessing. I'm actually reading the data. Okay, let's talk buyers. If you're trying to buy a home in Oakville right now, here's the reality. This is not a market where you can take your time. With median pending times around 5 days on the faster end, you need to be financially ready before you start touring homes. Not, I think I can probably get approved, ready. Pre-approval letter in hand, actually at the actual number signed, ready to. Here's something I tell every buyer I work with. Knowing which streets and subdivisions move fastest in Oakville, what condition standards look like at each price band, and how to write an offer that stands out without overextending you. That's local knowledge. It's not something a Zestimate gives you. Inventory right now is meaningful, but not overwhelming. Zillow's data shows 63 for sale properties and 37 new listings. That gives buyers some real choice. But the good ones, the well priced, move in ready ones, go quickly. If your process is see it, think about it for 3 days, then decide, you are going to lose out. The buyers who win in Oakville right now are the ones who have done their homework before they ever set foot in a house. I've watched buyers lose the home they wanted because they needed another day to think it over. In this market, another day is often too late. That's not pressure, that's just the data. If you're buying in Oakville and you want to know exactly what you're up against at each price point, reach out. That's the conversation worth having before you start touring, not after you've already fallen in love with something. For sellers, the summer 2026 data is favorable, but let's be clear about that. Nearly 60% of sales are closing above listing price. The sale to list ratio is above 1. That means that there's a good environment to list into. But, and this is the part I really want to be honest about, not every home sells fast or above asking. Condition and pricing are still the deciding factors. The home that generates multiple offers in the first week in Oakville are the ones that are priced with the current market, not the market from 60 days ago. Show ready, clean, staged, well photographed. Don't give buyers a reason to hesitate. Homes that need significant work or are priced optimistically can sit for 3 to 4 weeks in a competitive market. The market rewards preparation. And here's something I want to be upfront about. Broker fees and commissions are fully negotiable. They are not set at a standard rate. The listing fee is agreed between you and your agent in the listing agreement meeting, and any compensation a seller chooses to offer, a buyer's agent is optional and separately negotiated. And I will walk you through all of that. The only way to know exactly what your home is worth right now, not what Zillow says, not what your neighbor got 2 years ago, is the current market analysis. I run those for free. Call me, text me, email, and I'll get you a real number. I get asked this question a lot, especially by buyers coming from lower priced parts of St. Louis County who are stretching to get into Oakville. Is the premium worth it? The data says yes, for buyers who prioritize stability over speculation. This isn't a market that spikes 20% in a year and then corrects. It's a market that moves consistently upward, supported by consistent pool of qualified buyers who want what Oakville delivers. Suburban space, established neighborhoods, South St. Louis County location. The NAR research consistently shows that markets within strong owner occupancy rates have limited speculative activity, hold value better over time. Oakville fits that profile exactly. For moving up, buyers coming from lower priced parts of the metro or county. Something interesting happened recently. The gap between Oakville and the broader St. Louis metro has narrowed, with the metro-wide single-family median around 350,000 and Oakville in the mid to upper 350s and above. The premium over the broader market is more accessible than it has been a few years ago. That makes this an interesting moment for move up buyers who have been watching Oakville from a distance. If you're weighing Oakville against other St. Louis County options or comparing what to get in Arnold, Fenton, Afton, or further out, let's run those numbers together. That's a decision worth making with real data, not just gut instinct. Let me hit some of the most common questions I get about the Oakville market because these are probably the same ones that you're asking. Is Oakville a buyer's market or a seller's market right now? As of the summer 2026, Oakville is running favorable seller's market. The sale to list ratio is above 1. Nearly 60% of sales close above listing price. Earlier this year, March specifically, data supports that it was saying that it was a buyer's market at 98% of asking. The conditions have shifted. Where you land depends on your specific home and price point, and that's where local analysis matters. How fast are homes selling in Oakville compared to the rest of the county? Well priced move in ready homes are going pending in just days, not months or weeks. Both of those figures are faster than most of St. Louis County. Homes that need work or are priced aggressively are still taking 3 to 4 weeks or more. The spread is real. Condition and pricing do the work. What is the typical price range for homes in Oakville? Typically, per Zillow, it's around $368,000 with a median sale between 357,000 to 362,000. To put that in context, St. Louis County-wide median is about 219,000. The broader St. Louis metro is around 350,000. Oakville is running well above both. Are home prices still going up or have they leveled off? Prices are still rising. Zillow shows 3.4% year-over-year growth through 2026 July. This is a steady, measured appreciation, not a spike, not a plateau. It's consistent with Oakville's historic pattern, and the Fed's House Price Index for St. Louis County confirms that upward trajectory has been sustained. What should buyers know about bidding wars in Oakville? Come prepared. With homes pending in about 5 days and 60% of sales going above listing price, this is not a deliberate market. You need to mortgage pre approval in hand before you tour, a clear ceiling, and an offer strategy. Knowing which segments move fast is where a local agent who knows Oakville regularly earns their value. If I'm selling, how long should I expect to be on the market? Well, that depends on condition and pricing. Updated, well priced homes are going pending in 5 to 12 days right now. Homes with deferred maintenance or aggressive pricing can sit 60 days or more, as the earlier 2026 data showed. Getting the price right from day one is the single best variable in how quickly you sell and what is that final number. Here's my final take on the Oakville market in 2026. This is a market that rewards preparation. For buyers, you can't show up unprepared and expect to compete. For sellers, condition and price disciplines still separate the listings that generate multiple offers from the ones that sit. The data is favorable. The market has tightened since winter, but the buyers and sellers who are going into it with real, current, local information, not generic online estimates, not what their neighbor got 2 years ago, are the ones making good decisions. Again, I'm Cheryl Carasone with Campbell House and Home. I serve buyers and sellers and investors across St. Louis City, St. Louis County, St. Louis, St. Charles County, and Jefferson County. If you want to know what your Oakville home is worth right now, or if you want to buy in Oakville and you want to understand exactly what you're up against at your price point, let's talk. Call me, text me, or email me. And if this video helped you understand the Oakville market even a little bit better, subscribe. I put real data and real analysis every week for buyers and sellers across St. Louis.